Jeremiah 1 through 19. Devotional focus verse. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Jeremiah 1:5. Julie and Alex Armas desperately wanted a baby. 27-year-old Julie had already suffered 2 miscarriages, and now she was pregnant again. Hopeful and excited, she and her husband had already picked out a name. After 14 weeks, however, complications developed. An ultrasound scan was done and tests were taken. The finding was what every parent dreads hearing: something was wrong. The little unborn baby had spina bifida. Abortions are routinely offered by doctors when abnormalities are detected in a fetus, and at this stage of pregnancy, it could easily have been done. For Julie and Alex, however, this was not an option. They believed that God already knew this child, and he was a living soul, but they were racked by pain at the grim picture the doctor painted of the future for their long-desired child. In the ensuing weeks, Julie, an obstetrics nurse, decided to research treatments and found a pioneering program of in utero surgery for spina bifida. Medical science did not yet have the capability to keep a 21-week-old unborn baby alive outside the womb. After the procedure began, with the surgeon working ever so carefully, a little hand reached out of the incision and grabbed hold of the surgeon's finger like it was holding on for dear life. This little baby boy, who had already been named Samuel, had not yet felt the touch of his mother's skin against his own. Yet, the picture captured at that moment has impacted people around the world and has been referred to as the Hand of Hope. Samuel is now almost 10 years old and does not have many of the problems that often come with spina bifida. We may find it amazing that medical science and modern photography allow us to see a baby before it is born. Yet, God saw Samuel Armas before he was born, and he has seen every other baby down through the ages. As the focus verse notes, God saw Jeremiah in his mother's womb. He thought of who Jeremiah would become. God had a plan for Jeremiah, and he also has a plan for each one of us. His design can be thwarted by our choices, but if we follow his will, we can find and fulfill his perfect plan for us. Background information. Old Testament books were originally written on scrolls in the Hebrew language. Often the scrolls had a preface that identified a book's contents. Jeremiah 1 through 3 is this preface. It indicated that Jeremiah was the author. He was from Anathoth, a city of priests that was about 3 miles northeast of Jerusalem. See Joshua 21:18. At God's direction, Jeremiah spoke the word of the Lord during the administrations of the southern kingdom's last 5 kings and on to the time of Judah's captivity. Beginning with verse 4, Jeremiah described his personal call by God. This was a conversation between the Almighty Creator and a human being. God was clear. He told Jeremiah, I formed thee, I knew thee, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet. God declared to Jeremiah that he had set him apart for service before he was born. Jeremiah's sensitive and retiring nature showed in his hesitation to take up this awesome responsibility. He said, Ah, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. The word child could be translated young man, and Jeremiah was perhaps between 17 and his early 20s when God called him. While Jeremiah was hesitant and felt inadequate, he did not refuse or rebel. God officially inaugurated the young prophet when he put forth his hand and touched Jeremiah's mouth, pledging to inspire his words. Jeremiah was to proclaim to the nations, not just Judah, that their wickedness and idolatry would be judged. Yet a note of hope was included, for Jeremiah was also commissioned to build and to plant. Jeremiah received two symbolic visions from God. Verses 11 and 12 deal with the rod of an almond tree. In Palestine, the almond is the first tree to blossom or awaken in the spring. God wanted Jeremiah to know that he was fully awake to Judah's sins, and his word and judgment would assuredly come to pass. Verses 13 through 16 deal with a seething pot. The original Hebrew word that is translated pot meant a large kettle used to cook for a crowd. Just as such a pot can boil over and spill, so judgment would come from the north and go over Judah. In time, the armies of Babylon fulfilled this prophecy. Jeremiah knew that the message from God would not be warmly received by the people of Judah, and God told him, "Gird up thy loins." This was an expression of the times, which meant to prepare for service. Long robes were tucked under a belt so a person could fight, work, or run freely. God promised that those who opposed Jeremiah would not prevail against him, "For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee." Conclusion: God cares about every person, even before he or she is born, and he has a special plan for each one. Are you following God's plan for your life?
The Book of the Prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1. The words of Jeremiah the son of Hilkiah of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah the son of Amon king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah the son of Josiah king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Ah, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said the Lord unto me, Thou hast well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it. And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Then the Lord said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, saith the Lord, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah. And I will utter my judgments against them touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. Thou therefore gird up thy loins and arise, and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. For behold, I have made thee this day a defenced city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee.